All right, hello Taurus. Welcome to your reading. This is a timeless reading and it does not have to be for Taurus, Sun, Moon, or Rising. This can apply to any Taurus placement that you have, and we do all have Taurus in our natal chart or in our energetic field. Look to the house in your chart or to the planet Venus to connect with this energy and use it archetypally. If you've just been drawn to the title, the message in this reading could be for you, so take heed of that as well. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is a little bit of scrying, and I also have some messages just jumping right into the reading here. As I was setting things up, I was being shown taking out the trash or taking out the garbage, and then when I was putting the camera into place and getting ready to hit record, I heard something about an ego death as well. So Taurus could be going through an ego death right now, and there could be a process within that is requiring or is necessitating the taking out of some old things, the releasing, the purging. Right now I'm hearing right on schedule, so this seems to be perfectly divinely timed and designed for Taurus to be able to release, to shed, and I'm hearing step into prosperity. I'm actually seeing a card from a deck that I have right here, and it is the Taurus moon, I believe. Let's see. I split the deck and it's not that card. It's You Are Good Enough, full moon in Virgo, but I'm seeing the one in my mind's eye that says prosperity lies ahead, and I believe it is the Taurus, either full moon or new moon. So there's a level of prosperity that is coming out of, in a way, the releasing of some heavy things or getting rid of some old thought processes as this ego death and self-transformation of the identity takes place. Now, Taurus does tend to be quite a grounded, practical, comfort-loving sign. Certainly not lazy by any means, unless it's expressing itself in the shadow sense, but definitely more comfortable to stay in or within those old ego parameters. But there's a certain level of desire for cleanliness that I'm picking up on spiritually, and this could be physical or literal as well. But this spiritual or ego cleanliness and this desire to take out the trash is actually a product of this desire for comfort. So I think that's why the mind is finding a way to get around some of that desire for comfort, because as you probably know, if this is not your first rodeo, you are the bull, this bucking bull. If this is not your first rodeo, you will know that the ego death process is not always an easy one. It is not always something that is desired or that is comfortable, and often there is resistance or it can evoke stubbornness in the avoidance of it. So I'm feeling this energy of like a call to action that Taurus has received, and that you may be walking on this path, and being able to receive that has allowed you to understand the level of release that is necessary or needed here, and to get around some of the discomfort of actually doing that. Okay, so I think we will use this deck, but I'm also being drawn to my archetypes deck, so we'll just kind of go with the flow and see how things unfold here. As you unfold, I'm hearing as you unfold, and something about love, loving the path or loving the journey, or love is part of the prosperity on this journey. Not sure how to interpret that one, but I'm just getting something about love. Okay, let's dive in. I'm seeing somebody crossing the street. Something about a paratrooper. Something about rising from above, and then some kind of a free fall or a dive or a deep dive into something, going from one side to the other. I keep seeing crossing the street, getting to the other side. Maybe looking at two sides of an argument, or changing your point of view, or crossing the street to deliver something. I'm being shown now, the delivery of a package or the delivery of something important, but I'm hearing context cues, and this could be context dependent, or there's something of a contextual cue on the other side of the street or in this process of delivery. I'm not sure. Wow, I love that. Full moon in Pisces, balance, spirituality, and practicality. That's kind of what I'm feeling here from this energy for you, Taurus, or for the energy archetype of Taurus here. It's like you're figuring out a way to shed layers of the ego so that you can balance your spirituality with your practical life and your comfort zone. So it is a grounding, and I'm hearing necessary grounding, anchoring and stabilization. Once you've crossed over or crossed to that other side of the road or the other path, to find a way that works for you in your daily habits or your daily routine, like you would taking out the trash once a week or once every other week or whatever the schedule is. It's like you're able to kind of incorporate these perhaps spiritual death processes or ego changes and adaptations, or perhaps synchronicities and context cues or clues that are delivered to you in ways that are, I'm hearing more affordable, but I was going to say more practical, more affordable. And what does that mean? Maybe don't require as much of you, or as much. I mean, it still feels intentional, but it also feels like it doesn't take that much energy, or it doesn't have to cost you as much. It's more affordable energetically if we look at it that way. But I'm also seeing a king sitting on the couch right now, like a king with a mutton chop, like, or a leg of lamb or something sitting on the couch. And I'm hearing the word exploring, something about misadventures. And I'm seeing a time clock. Something about spatial awareness is coming through as well. I'm not really sure how to fit this all together, so I'll just share what I'm seeing, hearing, feeling, sensing. Okay. Have faith in your dreams. It did come out reversed, so this could be something about a level of practicality that has come from, I don't know, maybe fear or resistance to the dreams, or to this dream state, which is very ethereal and Piscean. Let me see what this one is. Wow, full moon in Pisces and new moon in Pisces. Meditate and contemplate. So there does some, I'm hearing something about the sum of its parts, or some, not all. There's certain things that you are looking at and understanding in regard to your dreams. Pisces does rule the 12th house, which is dreams. So you could be finding a practical way to incorporate and understand your dreams, not throwing everything away out in the trash, but knowing what is relevant to keep, or what is special, what is important, what has these specific context cues. Crossing the road or crossing that path could signify the movement between two worlds, like Pisces does, and like I think you are doing here, Taurus. This could be part of this process. This awakening pathway has kind of led you deeper into yourself. And there is a certain level of practicality to that. And there will be a necessity. I keep hearing necessities, something about the bare necessities. It's like there's a need for some kind of these ritual acts, but not like this fanciful, highly spiritual ritual acts. It maybe, but it's more so like these daily or weekly rituals that we do just as humans, very practical things like taking out the trash or doing the dishes or doing the laundry or cleaning up our homes. That in itself is a ritual act. It is cleanliness. Maybe that's why that Virgo card came out, because Virgo does have to do with order and cleaning and health, organizing things, keeping things, neat, tidy. So that you have a space that feels safe and comfortable to be able to relax in, and where you feel like you are the king or the queen of that kingdom or queendom. King in the castle, king in the castle. So you're able to you're able to, hold on, I'm getting interrupted here. Something about fostering the pathway of your dreams. Let me see what that means. Conclusions are within reach, full moon, eclipse energy. Conclusions, bringing things to their end so that you know what's relevant and what's not, and you can get rid of the unuseful things that are just clogging up this gateway within you to the spiritual, or in your dream realm, or in your subconscious mind. You're able to get rid of the old parts of the identity, perhaps, that have been clogging up the works or slowing things down, or are no longer useful for you. It's like you're outgrowing those parts of the self. It's not a complete ego death, but it does require a level of release. New moon in Aries, time to take action. And full moon in Capricorn, the end of a tough cycle approaches. Maybe something that you lost faith in. Yeah, maybe something that you lost faith in, or you tried to save face in some way, is now showing you that you do have a reason to have faith in it. It's not just a dream. It is something practical. It is something achievable. And the conclusions that led you in the opposite direction, you're now moving away from. You're moving to the other side of the street, and you're taking action in that. I do feel this one as well. A fiery climax approaches, and I heard approacheth. Very sort of medieval, something about a sensory experience I'm hearing. On the bottom, we have work through your fears, new moon in Scorpio. I did mention that maybe it's fear. I wasn't quite sure, but maybe it is after all. And you're trying to resolve something here so that you can take action, so that you can bring something to its natural conclusion, so that you can afford to move forward. Now there is something coming through about bridging the gap, or something about Bridgerton as well, bridges. And then we have the shapeshifter here that I wasn't going to take, but when I was setting up for your reading, I knocked it off the top of this deck and it fell like that on the floor. And whenever things fall on the floor, especially cards when I'm doing readings, it's an indication that that energy needs to be grounded, or that energy, I'm hearing safe to be held. Oh, wow. That energy needs to feel safe to be held. So perhaps there's an aspect of you that is shifting right now in this way, like your ego or your identity is doing a little bit of shape shifting at this moment, and you need some safety and comfort, an anchor or a stabilization point, to, like a port in the storm. Otherwise, you're sort of left out to sea, and that's not a good place to be. This Pisces energy is beautiful and ethereal and powerful, but if you are a land-dwelling being out in the middle of the ocean without proper rigging and ship is dangerous, especially if the tide turns. So there's an indication here for you to create some semblance of stability or a routine of some kind that gives your mind and your spirit a sense of order. And from that order, you are able to, I'm hearing, produce more and procure more. So there's like an in and an out. There's a balance, there's an exchange, there's a natural flow of energy that goes in both directions, two sides of the street, right? I'm seeing cars going that way and cars coming this way, so that the bridge is open for foot traffic and passengers, and you can give and receive properly. Maybe that's why that prosperity lies ahead. Something about the foot of the bed I just heard as well. The foot of the bed. Okay, and we have the animal. I just saw a hare, like a long-footed rabbit, a hare transform into a puff of smoke and then back into a hare again. And you know what? That's actually reminding me, it's a scene It's reminding me of a scene from Harry Potter when Dumbledore's army is in the room of requirement and they're learning to conjure the Patronus. And the Patronus is that magical spell that provides protection from dementors, from this hopelessness, faithlessness, lifeless, spiritless, soul-sucking energy. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that the rabbit or the hare that I'm seeing transforming into smoke and then back into the rabbit again, I believe that was the animal belonging to Luna Lovegood. Also referred to a little bit harshly as Loony Lovegood. So there's something about like this woo-woo energy that's actually being seen in a different light, and this sort of instinctual level of the self that is being understood and is being incorporated into the self. It's being welcomed into the group. It's being invited. It's being held. It's being seen in a new light so that it has that safety to settle in. It's welcomed into the kingdom of your mind. I just heard it's welcomed into the kingdom of your mind. And the rabbit here can also indicate fear or a high level of sensitivity, which is maybe sometimes why those who have this high level of sensitivity, such as yourself or others, are often equated with the quote-unquote woo-woo, the strange, the metaphysical, the unexplainable, the mysterious, the weird. I'm also hearing the enigmatic, the enigma, the mysterious, because it's not really of this world. It is, but it's not. And I'm seeing this energy of fear and sensitivity actually being used to your advantage or integrated and built upon so that you can master the levels between these two worlds and the connections within you that are that safe port in the storm. You know, you're coming into harbor. You're coming in and anchoring down and taking what you learned out at sea home with you and getting comfortable with it. Let's do a couple more of these archetype cards. And since the animals are here, I think we'll get animal cards as well. Both of these are the Wild Unknown decks, and I just felt called to mention that as well. So it feels like this process is bringing you into the unknown. We have the cave underneath. The cave of fears or the cave of wonders. It's both. And it's neither. Such is the state of the metaphysical and the ethereal realms. The dead end. That's the conclusion. I'm hearing the finalization. Something about documents just came up as well. I'm hearing finding a way out. Oh, there's one more than I thought here. Something is a surprise or it comes in a way that you wouldn't have expected. The one. Maybe this is a love message after all, or maybe this is you coming into this oneness within you, balancing these two sides of the self, the spiritual, the practical, the higher dimensional, the third dimensional. Believing in the impossible, while at the same time maintaining not strict routines, but routines that are routine enough, for lack of a better word, that are stabilizing for you. You could be finding this one shape in this shifting self that really does feel like home. The mountain. And since that cave was on the bottom, I feel like this is like the mountain cave where the hermit goes to rest. Bare necessities. It's reminding me of like a bear cave up on the mountain. And there's an end to that cave. There's a back to that cave. And that's actually a good thing because it's a safe space for you to go into hibernation or to hide out when you need to, because there's only one point of entry. Unlike the street, which is open and exposed, and you can cross from both sides, and it can catch you coming and going, that kind of thing. So it's like you're able to receive when you need to, and you're also able to back away when you need to. You're able to take care of yourself, especially in moments where things are very fiery or where emotions are being whipped up in a storm. You're able to ground. Yes. I'm actually being pulled to the tarot, but I haven't forgotten about the animal deck, so I'll leave the animal deck here for now so that I can see it and it will remind me, but I'm being pulled to the tarot, so let's get some more information here for Taurus. I'm hearing timeless, timeless. I mean, these are timeless readings, but ooh, timeless, the devil. Something about the comforts of home, comfort of the space, the animal and the devil and the dead end. Wow. Looking at past sort of primitive responses. That could be some of the stuff that's being gotten rid of here. Rest and meditate. That does seem to be helpful for you. So you could be called to kind of hunker down temporarily, and as this fiery, I'm hearing impact. I'm seeing clairvoyantly what is that called? A meteorite. Fiery impact, and it leaves like a huge hole in the ground, a crater. So something from above is touching down, that's for sure. Something from above is grounding itself. Now, it can feel quite like this fiery climax, and I think that's why the recommendation here is to rest, to let yourself go into this space, to see it, to clear some things out. Clearing out the brambles, I'm hearing, and they're showing me somebody chopping away at all of these, false roots or something like that with a machete. It's like you're kind of knocking some stuff down, and it's time. There's no time limit on it, but it's time, because things were imbalanced in some way, and now you are balancing them. 3 of Wands, the ships coming in. The ships go out, the ships come in. The Hanged Man. I'm hearing the word solace, actually, as I held it up. Solace. Taking some time. Because this ego enlightenment, or this ego shift that's taking place, it does require a certain level of stillness from you. The sun. Because that stillness is illuminating. It is illuminating the light through this pathway of the dead end. It's, the back of the cave. Maybe it's like you've stayed in that cave that has no back, or that has no back. I didn't mean to say that. I'm seeing a bear with its back facing me. Highly symbolic messages coming through. Again, it's like this. Meditate and contemplate on these symbols, Taurus. I wanted to call you group number 3, which is, I do pick a card readings here, and of course those are set in groups, but for some reason you're group number 3. Maybe there's a reading out there that's mine or someone else's that group 3 called or will call to you. Oh yeah, and this man is facing away. He's showing us his back. So you are perhaps showing your back to something that you once saw or welcomed. Tough. I think you are tough, and you are doing the impossible here, Taurus. You're very tough. King of Cups. A lot of Pisces energy. This is a Taurus reading, but there's a lot of Pisces. And I'm noticing 2 Aries. I'm hearing 2 sets of something, but there's 2 sets of 1. I don't know what that means, but it's like a lot of, well, you know what, actually, now that I think about it, because Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac, it's the 12th sign. It's in the 12th house. And then Aries is the first sign. So it turns over and goes back to Aries. And that's the first house, the house of self. And the 12th house is the house elf. I wanted to say house elf. What? I mean, I do love Harry Potter and I reference Harry Potter from time to time, but that just came right out. So, and the house elves are those that do all the chores in the middle of the night, and that their job is to be unseen and to come in and clean everything without anybody knowing. Maybe you have some helpful house elves within yourself spiritually that are coming in to help you clean some things up here. But it's happening in the unseen realms. But you are waking up to it being clean nonetheless, because as you start your day in the morning, you know, first house is the self, the sun, the ego. These are all representations of the self. You come out of the cave, out of hibernation, you wake up and start your day, and things are reset and things are cleaner and brighter, and you have more clarity within. 10 of Pentacles, taking out that trash. Especially if it was weighing you down. Sometimes the wands aren't trash. Sometimes they are lessons that we've learned or burdens that we've chosen to bear for the purpose of gaining strength or to, you know, toughen ourselves up like that. But other times they're not, and they become dead weight. And that's when they can be dropped. That's when they can be let go of. And this is definitely a completion of some kind. 9 of Cups. And there's a lot of beautiful, like I said, Piscean energy here of this divine connection. Divine connection. 2 of Cups on the bottom. Wow, divine connection. I wasn't meaning it in that way, as in like a love or romance message. You did have the 1 here, but I was meaning it as in like a divine connection with, there's Pisces again. Divine connection with, I'm hearing the root chakra. I can't get the sentence out of my mouth. Divine connection with the one, with source, with the divine, with something greater than this physical reality, with God, with creator, whatever you want to call it. Doesn't matter. It's non-denominational in its essence. So you can call it what you want to call it. You could be kicking some bad habits here of addiction, because when I'm tapping into all this Pisces energy, Pisces can have a lot of beautiful high vibrational spiritual qualities and a lot of wisdom and insight because it's been around the block. But at the same time, the lower side of Pisces can show up in escapism and addiction. And the reason that was brought to mind was, first of all, because of all this Pisces energy, and second of all, because when I said you can call it what you want to call it, the song lyrics popped into my head, call it what you want to call it, I'm a bleeping alcoholic. So Piscean energy here with the moon, again, fear or shadows, darkness that have perhaps arisen out of some kind of, you know, it almost feels like peer pressure. Living in a world that kind of requires so much of you, or that has become so heavy that you try to escape from it by coping as best you can. And overcoming that addiction, or walking a different path or a similar one, but that feels and looks different, or changing yourself in this way, shifting, moving like water. Even though it's difficult, it feels like moving up the mountain. Actually, what you're doing is coming home. You're coming home to yourself, and perhaps to a sacred divine connection that's very balanced, both in its practicality and its spirituality. Okay, let's get a closing message from the animals. I love this 9 of Cups for you though, Taurus, because it feels like you're getting a lot of happiness, satisfaction out of this. A lot of wishes or dreams actually are coming true. So do believe in the impossible, please, because it is possible. Anything is possible. And your belief really does help it along. Even if it's been a long journey, you've got a lot of help. Little helpers. Little helpers. And the dolphin, my God, talk about joy, friendship, companionship, playfulness. Definitely a lot of joy and playfulness and fun It's like you're coming out of your cave and you're waking up to a new day and going, oh my goodness, look at how much I can do. Look at how much is possible for me to achieve. I can play with my identity, like putting on different costumes. I don't have to be this one version of me. Not stuck there. Not stuck there. The lizard and the dragonfly feels like you're transforming. Again, sensitivity from the lizard here. Lizard. Something about a ledger. And there's the rabbit. I just split it and the rabbits are sitting there. And the scorpion. Scorpio season could be very significant. Again, these are timeless readings, but Scorpio season is coming up. The world is your oyster. The pearl of wisdom sitting in there, facing these fears, no longer allowing something, a substance or a person or like a way of living to pull energy out of you like those dementors, like you're able to protect yourself through happiness, because that's what conjures a Patronus, isn't it? Happiness, friendship, thoughts of love. And being able to harness that to protect yourself like a shield. And you're strengthening or getting tougher in that. And so you're better able to resist some of the lower sides of that sensitivity that you have, because your innate sensitivity or your instinct is to try and protect yourself. And I think this ego death or this identity shift that you're going through that's taking place right now is really helping you to see what was not serving you and what you can put down gently, gracefully, without any self-judgment, and be able to walk in a different direction, to cross that street for your own benefit. And I'm hearing, who are you going to meet there? On the other side of the street, who you're going to meet there? I think you're going to meet yourself. I think you're going to meet yourself. And I'm hearing good health, and I'm being shown these two people here in the Two of Cups toasting, and they're saying to good health, to good health. Okay. Any final closing messages for Taurus that would like to come through? We're going to open up and let those before we close out the reading. Something about a mishmash, the happy and the sad. It's kind of all mixed together here, but you're like sorting through the recycling. I'm being shown somebody sorting through the recycling, and it's like, you put the plastics with the plastics and the glass with the glass and the cardboard with the cardboard. So that's what you're doing. You're sorting things out, sorting things out so that you know what goes where and what to get rid of and when. Getting something about a new schedule. I'm seeing a calendar app or like a new schedule that's taking place for you, a new routine. Something that gets you out of stagnancy. It feels like there was a certain routine that was going on for quite some time that, although it was comfortable, kind of started to feel isolating, or like it was an unhealthy state of hibernation, like this cave, and now you're opening up to explore more or to adventure beyond that. Yeah, I'm hearing something about integrating a self, integrating what self, Spirit? Well, the lizard, the animal, and the devil here are actually talking to me about integrating like this lower brain self. We have multiple brains. We've got, there's the gut brain, there's the heart brain, there's the brain, and then in the brain, we've got the three levels of that brain, which is like the lizard brain, which is the reptilian brain at the bottom. It's the brain stem itself, which governs motor functions, spatial awareness, and also our fight or flight response. And then we've got the mammalian brain, which is the limbic system, which rules our emotions. Lots of Piscean energy here connected to emotions, I believe. And then above that, we've got the neocortex, which is like the squiggly goopy bit that we're all familiar with. And that is where we have higher reasoning, higher thought. And we can actually use that neocortex to critically think and rationally respond to our physical animalistic reactions. We can actually process our emotions from that neocortex level. And I'm seeing that may be the case of what you're doing here. You could be sorting out your thoughts, and this could be what's helping you shift your identity. So I'm going to leave the reading here. I keep wanting to call you group something. So like group 1, group 3, but yeah, Taurus, I'm going to leave the reading here. I love you. I hope this was helpful. Just take what resonates and leave the rest. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, I do have spots available right now, and I'm open for Reiki sessions for a short period of time as well. Everything's done remotely through video format like this, sent to your email, and you can book through my PayPal, which is linked in the description box below. Make sure to add your email and just send over the amount, or put that in the note as well of what reading or type of session you'd like. And I look forward to connecting. If not, we'll see you in the next one. Love you guys. Bye.